Okay, I am going to give you a lot of different tips to use for teaching the R sound. Most people will agree that this is one of the hardest sounds to teach a child because it's not real visual. They have to kind of really feel where their tongue is supposed to go. So we'll spend a little bit of time teaching you all kinds of things to do for teaching an R. So the first thing that you can do is tell a child that this is um, like the dog, a growling dog sound, and see if they can get the sound with that. So you're going to have them growl, "Rrr, rrr, rrr, rrr." And then they could start that with some of the words like ring. Good, you can have them growl. I want you to pretend like you're a dog and you're growling at everything. And then you would show them some pictures out of the 1 Minute Articulation app, and you can have them say ring, rabbit, raft. Okay, and that's the visual phonics sound for All right, so that's one way. The other way I like to do is I like to tell them this story, because usually most children are substituting. The most common substitution is a W for an R. All right, so I tell them this story so they can kind of get an idea in their head on what's supposed to be happening in their mouth. So I want to tell you a little story. So I want you to think about what if your mom and dad let your brother just lay on the couch all day long, and he got to eat cookies and ice cream and watch movies and play video games, and he just got to stay on the couch all day long. And guess what you had to be doing? While he's laying on the couch, you had to do all the work in the house. You have to mop the floors and do the dishes and make all the beds and clean the bathrooms and take the trash out. And your brother is just laying on the couch eating cookies and chips. Do you think that's fair? What do you think about that? Don't you think your brother should get up off of the couch and do some work? You're getting pretty worn out doing all the work. Well, guess what? That's exactly what's going on in your mouth. Your tongue is just laying on the couch. It's laying there, it's not doing anything, and your lips are doing all of the work. So it's time to tell your tongue to get up off the couch and do some work. All right, so your lips can have a break. So that's a little sound. And then what you would do is have them practice some W words along with R words. So we can say, okay, let's have your tongue you're going to do some of the jobs are for your lips and some of the jobs are for your tongue. We're going to share the work, all right? So we're going to say Wayne. Good, now we're going to say rain. Don't let your lips work. And if they say Wayne, say, your lips are doing all the work again. Get that tongue up off the couch. Rain. All right, and they can say, let's see, what's another one? Witch. Rich. And then you could do weed, read. So do two words that rhyme and that one with a W and one with an R, so they can realize, when it's their tongue's job and when it's the lips' job to do that sound. Okay, and another little story that I like to tell them is this. A lot of times kids do not pull their tongue back far enough to get a good R sound. And so that when they're not doing that, then I use this little story. Okay, so I want you to think about the meanest, ugliest looking pirate that you can imagine. Maybe he has rotten yellow teeth and he has a patch on his eye and a scar on his face. Can you picture him in your mind? He's kind of scary looking. Well, he's a mean old pirate. So you know what he likes to do? He likes to tie a string on kids' tongues, and he pulls that string back, and then he lets it go to tease them. All right, so we're going to try some sounds, and I want you to think about that pirate. He has a string, and he's pulling your tongue back really far, and then he lets it go. All right, let's try one. Let's say bird. He lets it go. Good. Or you can do cat. He's pulling on it. Cat. Good. How about this one? Che. He's pulling on it. He's got it. Cherry. Good job. All right, so that just gives them kind of a visual on how their tongue's supposed to pull up and back. So I say, hey, the pirate's pulling on your tongue anytime that they don't quite get that sound where I'd like it to be. Okay, the other thing you could do is just use a stick, just a popsicle stick, and you're just going to kind of, to help them get that tongue open. When the stick's in their mouth, then they can't use their lips because their mouth's open. All right, so that helps them, that stops them from using their lips. And then also you can just kind of, when you put the stick in their mouth, they kind of naturally pull their tongue back. And you're not really even touching it that much. So you can say, okay, let's try some words. We're going to say ring, rabbit, rake, good. Or carrot, good. Cherry, all right. And we're going to say bird, earn, car. All right, see how we're doing that? You just pull that down. Car, and push that stick in there. Okay, another thing that I like to do is I like to show them with my hand. Okay, so I'll say, look, this is the roof of your mouth, and here's your tongue. Okay, and your tongue, well, I'll put it right here. This is the front of their mouth. So your tongue has to curl back, And so I guess it's actually easier to show it this way. I'm trying to figure out how to do it on here. So you're saying you want your tongue to curl up, but we don't want it to touch all the way at the top, because if it touches all the way at the top, then you block off your air. You have to leave a little bit of air. So take your tongue. It's hanging down here right now, and you got to curl it all the way up. Get that tongue all the way. So we're going to say car. Good. And we're going to say cherry. Good. You're going to say truck and pull it up. So you're just going to give them a visual on how that might look and what their tongue is supposed to be doing. Okay, so one other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is once you establish the R at the beginning of sounds, then you can treat the R like a beginning sound anywhere that you go, okay, in any of the words. So let me give you an example. So make sure you get a really good beginning R, and they're going to do ring, rake, raft, okay? And now now you know that they can say the R good at the beginning, so move to the middle of sounds now, and you're going to treat that R like a beginning R in the middle of the word. You're going to go carrot, all right? And you're going to do cherry and brush. So anywhere it is in blends, you can do t-re. Separate it because you know they can say that R at the beginning. So just separate it, and then pretty soon you can blend it together. Tree, brush, drum. But at first I'm going to go drum. And then vocalic R's, which is a R that comes after a vowel, those are the hardest ones to do and the hardest ones for kids to learn. So again, treat those like a beginning R. You're going to go bird, bird. You're going to do horn, okay, horn. Separate them till they get used to pulling that tongue back, and then you can blend it together. You do car, car. And then if you just have them keep their voice on longer and blend that sound, and they'll get used to lifting that tongue up. Okay, let's do a couple of more. You're going to go or. See how we're separating it? Suck, suck. And then shug, shug. So that's the final R, and we're treating it like a beginning R. Shug, all right, and then blend it together. So remember to use the visual phonics symbols with this. So let's go through those really quick. You go ring, rake, raft. You can do carrot, cherry, brush. They work great for those blends. Tree, drum, bird, earn, horn. Good. Car. Good. And then you can do or and sucker, sugar. All right? So hang in there with that R. Just give them lots of visuals because it's hard to see and it's hard to feel. And so just try any story, anything that you can do to help them be successful with that R. I actually think they're really fun to teach. So have fun with it.